Ladies and gentlemen, joining you here straight out of the dungeon for Pillar to Post. It is June 23rd, 2016, and it's been a busy week for me. First off, I've been down with the flu, so everything I've been doing has seemed like it was in the excess, you know? You know that feeling when you're sick, everything you do feels like it's been too much. That's been this week, and I've been busy doing live streams. I've been doing the reviews for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That is Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and those are live on my channel currently, as well as the fantasy booking live streams for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Now, I've been getting some pretty good views off of that, and I got a lot of great subscribers that enjoy the series. Now, a new series begins tonight at 6 p.m. It is currently 3:14 p.m. for me. So, at 6 p.m., basically 3 hours from now, we'll begin Big Dog Wrestling. That is a new indie project that I am starting here on Pillar to Post. And we are using YouTubers as well as Facebook Wrestler Unstoppable characters. So, we've got that going down today. It's called The Pit. That will begin at 6 p.m. tonight. A lot of excited subscribers here waiting for the series to begin. And it's going to be wrestlers you've never heard of before. I did a roll call the other day for The Pit. Now, big roster. I think we've got 32 on the roster for The Pit. And I think it's 31 for Fight Night. So, that's going down starting tonight at 6 p.m. And we will have the second brand kick off tomorrow, Saturday, at 6 p.m. So that's going down there. Been in talks with new sponsors. So I've got more sponsors lined up, and they will be more than likely joining the sponsors already here on Pillar to Post. And we've got a lot of news to talk about in WWE today. I'm going to give you the list currently for the Mae Young Classic. And we're going to give you a little bit of the bios along with them. We've got news on... We've got some interviews, I think, from Cody Rhodes, from Big Show, from a few other guys, as well as other news involved in the wrestling world. So that's going down. I want to give a shout out to my merchandise creator. His name is Darren. He works here in Woodstock, Ontario, Canada at End Zone Sports. And he is the guy that did this beanie right here, Circle of Steel. It is great quality work. You ain't going to find too much better anywhere else. And he's got great prices for you. So if you're in the area, make sure you check out End Zone. If you need merchandise made, he is the guy to look for. Also, I talked about this last night from Shooting from the Hip. This time next year, or earlier, depends on how things work out, there is a new indie federation opening up here in Ontario. I'm involved helping the guys search for talent. I'll be scouting for them, as well as I'll be bringing all the news and such right here on Pillar to Post for that. So that's a big deal for me because I will be commentating for his indie fed, and there is going to be a school involved in this as well, a wrestling school. So, big things happening around my area. I enjoy that. I'm getting involved in it. So, that's a big deal for me. I'm getting involved in the wrestling business. And that's what I've dreamt of since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, as the old folks might say. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pro wrestler, but being involved in the business itself is a big deal for me. I want to also branch out and see if I can get involved in commentating or even being in a manager position for another indie fed. I'm going to be reaching out to them very soon, see what they have open for a guy like me, and, see what works out. Big things happening in the world of Pete. So, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors quickly before we move any further, because they are very important to this channel, because ad revenue, as you know, ain't going to help me out anytime soon. So, today's podcast is brought to you by both our sponsors currently. That is starting with Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial with audibletrial.com/pillar to post. They have tons of titles to choose from, over 200,000 to be exact, and you can use them on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, if you don't want to stick out the membership for those 30 days, you can unsubscribe from Audible the same day. But make sure you download your free audiobook first, because you get to keep it even though you don't stick out the 30-day free trial. My second sponsor, Grapple Merch. Visit grapple.bigcartel.com, and when using this code, PillarToPost77, you receive a discount courtesy of Pillar to Post and Grapple Merch for wrestling memorabilia such as t-shirts, autographed photos, WWE Elite wrestling figures, and they also do Grapple Box, which is very similar to Pro Wrestling Crate and Wrestle Crate and Loot Crate. It's got all those features there. So they are doing the Grapple Box number 4 Elite, and that is available this coming week. Yours truly is ordering his very first one. That will be an unboxing for when it arrives. I don't know how long the shipping period takes, but that will be the first unboxing here on Pillar to Post. That is Grapple Merch. That all will be in the description below, so make sure you check it out. Take advantage of it. Okay? Now, my Teespring store, Pillar to Post. I have a storefront for Pillar to Post as well as Circle of Steel. That is in the description below. I've got a Facebook merchandise page, a Facebook author page, as well as if you want to friend request me on Facebook, I have those links available in the description below. To find out what I'm going to be doing on VidMe, my VidMe link is there, and it's vid.me/pillar2 post, all in one. And if you want to help support the channel, you can support the channel for as low as $1 a month with my Patreon, I should say, and it's patreon.com/pillar2post. All one word, all lowercase. You can find me on Twitter at pillar2post77, and if you want to email me for maybe, you're interested in buying some merchandise from me, this beanie, this shirt for one, I've got them in 2 colors, blue, the one that you're seeing right now, as well as what you see on my head right now, red and white. Great designs, all vinyl. They come in sizes small to 5X. Great deals on them, man. Great deals on them. So get in touch with me if you're interested. I will ship them out to you personally. So, big news for the commentating team for NXT, and I do like this. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is good to hear that Mauro Ranallo has worked out a deal to return to the WWE, and he will be commentating on NXT, right where he belongs, man. That's where he should have been put to begin with. Now, here's the article that came with this news. Mauro Ranallo announced today that he will be joining the WWE NXT commentary team. No word yet on when he will return to work for the company, but it could come at Friday's NXT TV tapings. Now, Triple H tweeted at Mauro Ranallo and at WWE NXT, hashtag like a glove, hashtag mega powers, and hashtag we are NXT. So Triple H, very excited, and I guarantee you Triple H was the guy to work out the deal to bring Mauro Ranallo back. I think that's where Mauro Ranallo should have been to begin with, is NXT. Like I said, he's not everyone's flavor of the month or their cup of tea, but when it comes to commentating, Mauro Ranallo is the best thing going right now, okay? We don't have JR anymore. Yes, for special occasions, we're going to hear JR call some matches. He's going to be calling the Mae Young Classic matches, but, that is just little bits here and there. We're not going to get a guy like JR anytime soon. Now, if you look at your SmackDown commentating team, you have JBL. Does anybody like what JBL has to say on the microphone? And then you have, who else is there? That lazy guy, the guy that really doesn't even talk, David Otunga. Okay, you have him. And then you have Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips isn't doing too bad. But he's no JR. He's no Mauro Ranallo. Okay? Just my opinion. Now, Mauro Ranallo followed that tweet out, and he said, the NXT chapter begins. Please visit my Instagram, Mauro Ranallo, for a major announcement. And he goes on to say, WWE and I mutually agreed to end my responsibilities on SmackDown having nothing to do with rumors about disputes. As I remained under contract with WWE, we discussed a variety of options. Despite originally agreeing to part ways, there was always a desire to continue working together. We have come to terms on a new agreement that benefits both WWE and me. And I am thrilled to announce I will now be part of the NXT broadcasting team. That is great news. That is great news. Like I basically gave you what I thought about the situation already. Nothing is better for NXT right now than to have Mauro Ranallo calling the matches. Okay, him along with some of the other guys on the crew. Get rid of Percy Watson. He does no good for NXT. Get rid of him. Have Mauro Ranallo on there. I can't remember the other announcers on there, okay? Sorry, I love NXT, but I can't always concentrate on who is who. Especially when it comes to commentating. I know the wrestlers now. I don't know the complete crew of the commentary team. Big news with reports of Miz and Maurice storyline split. Sounds like they are going to be splitting up Maurice and the Miz for this new entourage bit that he's going to be doing with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, which, in my opinion, just is a complete waste of time for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. They deserve so much better than this angle. Now, this all stems with the return of Maria Kanellis along with her husband, who has officially changed his name for WWE to Mike Kanellis. It is no longer Mike Bennett. It is Mike Kanellis. Now, this is what the article has to say. As seen on Raw this past Monday night, WWE appears to be splitting The Miz and Maurice and pairing Miz with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. There have been some reports attributing the change to Maria and Mike Kanellis debuting on SmackDown due to some comments made by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. It should be noted that it wasn't clear if Meltzer was speculating about the split or was stating it as a fact. This is what Meltzer had to say. The end result is that they're doing Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas as Miz's new entourage and they're dumping Maurice. I guess with the idea that because they've got Maria and Mike Bennett on the other brand, they don't want another husband and wife team or something, Meltzer said. When asked if Maurice was done for now, Meltzer replied, "It looks like it," which is complete stupid. Okay, they think that there's gonna be an issue with having a power couple on SmackDown and a power couple on Raw. How? Really? Okay, so you're gonna get rid of Maurice because Maria Kanellis came back with her husband. How does that make sense? You end her career. Is she going to be wrestling then? Is she going to be put in the women's division, or are you just done with her and that's that? Okay, just to put Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel as an entourage unit for The Miz. Give me a fucking break. Bo Dallas showed when he came out in that match this week on Raw, he's got spark in him. He's got life in him. If you used him correctly, and if you gave him a direction, that guy can go. At the beginning of his match, he was nothing but fire. He showed heart. He showed anger. He showed frustration. He showed it all at the beginning of that match. But it was scripted that he loses. So, 10 minutes into the match, he just gets dummied around. Not even 10 minutes. 5 minutes in the match, he gets dummied around. There's your pinfall. Boom. He loses once again. Curtis Axel, we haven't seen Curtis Axel on television for God knows how long. The son of Mr. Perfect, for Christ's sakes. Okay? We know this guy's got talent. Yes, he needs a little bit of character development. But if you guys actually tried, if you're not using them on television, have them going to the performance center and learning and developing while they're not on television. Instead, no. We're just going to have them as Mrs. Entourage, and they're going to end up getting the beats put to them on a weekly basis. Big deal for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. You'll get to be on television, but you're going to be someone's smack dummy. So, we got a list of the women so far that will be included. Now, there was a leaked, rumored list that was out. I did announce it. I thought this was a legit list. It turned out it wasn't. So, currently, these are the women that will be involved in the Mae Young Classic. So, following a rumored list of females that are expected to be in the Mae Young Classic this summer, the WWE has decided to officially announce competitors who will be definitely competing in the upcoming tournament. In a smart PR move on the WWE's behalf, they instantly took the attention away from the rumors in order for the wrestling world to focus on the women who will be hitting the Full Sail ring later on this year in the first ever women's tournament in WWE. Here is the actual list. Lacey Evans. Now, here's a little bio on her. One name that was mentioned on the rumored list that was all over the internet last week was Lacey Evans, who is someone who will be familiar to those who watch NXT, as she has appeared inside the yellow ropes on several occasions lately. The former U.S. Marine Corps has earned the nickname of the Lady of NXT and is determined to show everybody in her way what she is capable of inside that ring. Now, if you haven't seen Lacey Evans on NXT, she looks like a 60s pinup model. Okay, that's the kind of way she dresses. She's hot, she's beautiful, she can wrestle. I think we're going to see a hell of a lot more in the near future. We know she's under contract already. She's with NXT. She's not going anywhere, even if she loses the tournament. Now, the article goes on to say about her, whilst she hasn't had too many opportunities in the spotlight on NXT as of the writing, an impressive showing during the Mae Young Classic could be exactly what she needs to push her to the main event level of the women's division. Next one up is Sarah Logan. Now, another wrestler who will be known to fans of NXT is Sarah Logan, who has appeared on William Regal's brand on multiple occasions and is currently benefiting from working at the WWE Performance Center. Starting her career in 2011 on the American independent scene, Logan quickly gained a reputation for her tough, fight-like style in the ring and even had a spell in Japan prior to her joining WWE. Now, Logan made her WWE television debut with NXT earlier in the year and has also competed in Olympic powerlifting competitions, showing she is nobody to be messed with. Now, I'm going to try and pronounce this next one correctly. The last name I'm a little bit strange on. Princessa Sughit or Shughit, not quite sure how to pronounce that last one. One name that was not on the rumored list of competitors is that of Princessa Sughit. However, the WWE has confirmed that the masked veteran will be involved in the Mae Young Classic, bringing some international flair to the competition from Mexico. Now, as one of the most highly esteemed and experienced masked wrestlers in Mexico, Sughit began her professional career in 1996 and has countless accolades to her name. The current Mexican national women's champion has won several championships for companies such as CMLL and AAA, as well as gaining the masks of plenty of her rivals, which is considered the highest prize in Mexico, proving she is not somebody to be taken lightly. Toni Storm. Finally, the last name on the 4 list that was given to us originally. The name by WWE comes from English shores and is the current reigning and defending Progress champion. Progress is one of the UK's standout independent promotions, and the fact that Toni Storm carries their women's championship is a big statement about her abilities inside the squared circle. Now, despite being based in England and working the independent circuit across the country, Storm is actually from New Zealand and grew up in Australia, a country that has produced athletes such as Emma. Storm has wrestled in 13 countries before the age of 20, capturing championships along the way, and is incredibly experienced and well-versed in many different styles, making her a major threat in the Mae Young Classic. Now, that was a week ago. And 1 week since the first announcement, and with 3 to go before the Mae Young Classic tapes, we've got 5 more names for the tournament today, spanning the same range from top indie women to unknowns. Tessa Blanchard. Now, if you don't know who Tessa Blanchard is, you will know her father, Tully Blanchard. A third-generation superstar, the daughter of the legendary Four Horsemen original Tully Blanchard, and well known to regular viewers of NXT and the Indies alike, Tessa's pedigree doesn't outstrip her achievements. In 3 short years, she's made splashes just about everywhere she's gone and is one half of the current Shimmer Tag Team Champions alongside Vanessa Craven, as well as holding various minor women's championships across the scene. Perhaps her most notable feud to date has been with her long-running series against fellow legacy Rachel Ellering. Abby Lath is the next one on here, and more familiar to us as Kimber Lee. Abby is arguably the most decorated of our 5 superstars here on the list today, having been the first woman to hold the Chikara Grand Championship, as well as being a long-tenured tag team champion everywhere from Shine to Shimmer to WSU. Trained in CZW Dojo by Drew Gulak and a part of his original campaign to better his working environment in the combat zone, she once German suplexed JT Dunn 20 times in a row. Sounds like a very tough woman. Tainara Conti, representing Brazil and with no pro wrestling experience before signing with the WWE last year, Conti nonetheless has a judo background that should serve her well in the squared circle, having earned a black belt in that discipline as well as a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and narrowly missing the cut to compete in the 2016 Olympics. That's a big, tough woman there for this Mae Young Classic. All these women sound terrific. Jazzy Gabbert, better known to followers of the international independent scene as Germany's alpha female. Gabbert has been wrestling for 16 years and picked up the accolades to show for it. Being a former Pro Wrestling Eve champion and World of Stardom champion, as well as having won both the Artist of Stardom trios and Goddesses of Stardom tag champions as part of Kimura Monster Gun. Now, as her ring name suggests, she works a hard, striking powerhouse style and has 1-1 in pro MMA fights to date. So 1 win, 1 loss in MMA. The last on the list, Kavita Devi, or Devi, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to go with Devi. Representing India, Devi was trained by the great Kali from a background of powerlifting and the Indian sport of kabaddi, and is a key player in his Continental Wrestling Entertainment promotion as Hard KD. That is the final woman announced to be entering the Mae Young Classic. It looks like we are going to have a fantastic tournament. The problem is the tournaments so overwhelm us. I shouldn't say overwhelm us. They give us everything we want from the tournament. It is so over the top. Look at the UK tournament. Look at the Cruiserweight tournament. They blew our minds with what they did in that tournament. The sad fact is, once they get placed on the main roster or whatever they plan on doing with it, it falls flat on its face. Because right away, they put the chains on these guys. Look at what they've done to the Cruiserweights. Not one of them wrestles like they did in the Cruiserweight Challenge. So what's the point? Really, what is the point? Got an interview here. Daniel Bryan speaks a little bit, and he says it's absolutely necessary for WWE to change their presentation. I don't know if I fully agree with all of this, but I'll read it anyway. NBC Sports has an interview with WWE SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan ahead of his return on tonight's episode of SmackDown Live. So this happened Monday night. It is his first appearance on WWE television since Bryan and Brie Bella welcomed their daughter, Birdie Joe, on May 9th. Now, Bryan discussed fatherhood as well as his role on SmackDown. He also had some poignant comments about the current product feeling stale. He goes on to say, I think a change of presentation is absolutely necessary. I think the way that we present our superstars probably needs to change. I agree with that. Years ago, they went through with this idea of having as much live stuff as possible on the shows. But I think when you watch, say, UFC, for example, some of the things that are most endearing, that make you care the most about the fighters, are these backstage vignettes that get to show their real personality. Now, you'll see great fights that people will cheer because, maybe because they're great fights, but the fights that have the most impact are the ones with fighters who people actually care about. Now, I do agree with this, but it doesn't need to be more backstage pre-recorded vignettes. It needs to be proper vignettes letting the fans know who the wrestler is, what their gimmick is, and not constantly flip-flop their gimmick like they've done with Bray Wyatt since the beginning. Okay, you have him as this cult-type leader, and then all of a sudden you get it in your head, we're going to split them apart. Made no sense. And now look what he's doing as a singles competitor. You make him the WWE champion. And then you take it away, trade him off to Raw, and he's a nobody. Once again, this is what's wrong with the wrestling business. I agree with him on certain aspects of what he says. He goes on to say, I think one of the things that really endeared me to the people, or to people, was that people got to view more aspects of my personality than most because of the different things that I did within WWE. Seeing performers frustrated and being able to show that on TV and being able to show their experiences, their reactions to what's happening to them on the show, and doing backstage vignettes. There was a great one on NXT about Roderick Strong recently about being a new dad and all of that kind of stuff. Since I've been gone, they've been doing some really fun stuff with the Fashion Police. No, I'm sorry. It's not fun. If you like it, you're stupid. I'm sorry. And that's my opinion. I'm not calling my viewers stupid. No, it's just I think these vignettes of the Fashion Police is just so stupid. I can't stand watching them. I like the Fashion Police gimmick. I just don't like the vignettes they're doing, and you have them acting like a couple of goofy dumbasses. Okay? I hate it. Not that there needs to be more of that exact kind of stuff, but it helps people get to know their personalities. I think one of our failings on SmackDown Live was American Alpha. Yes, that was a big letdown. They are great on NXT. They did all of these fun little interview segments with the two of them that got to show the people behind American Alpha. They saw who Chad Gable is, who Jason Jordan is. I'd like to do more of that kind of stuff. Now, if it's working towards their character and building them up, that I agree with. Bryan noted that personalities draw in other sports, and bringing more of that to WWE would help the business. He goes on to say, in combat sports, personalities are what draws. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was one of the worst boxing matches I've ever seen, but millions of people watched it because of the personalities involved. I think changing that dynamic and highlighting the personalities in something, or is something, we really need to do. Now, I don't know how we do it. I think if anybody has a magic answer to, or of what the best way is to present personalities in this modern day of television, they'd have the answer. So like I said, I agree with some of what he had to say. I don't agree with it all. Okay? For me, there is already way too many promos and vignettes on Raw's product to begin with, and they're all useless. Now, if they were showing vignettes that made sense and highlighted their wrestlers and actually made us want to believe in their characters and not just think, oh, you're going to ruin it anyway, so fuck you, I am in for it. But if they're going to make it everything feel like it's a dumb, stupid idea that they didn't really sell, then what's the point? What is the point? We've got some Impact Wrestling departures. Once again, this is from the PW Insider. As noted, Gregory Shane Helms revealed on Twitter that he is no longer with Impact Wrestling. Helm had been working as a producer for the company since 2015. Mike Johnson of PW Insider is reporting that producer Al Snow and Pat Kenny, formerly known as Simon Diamond, are also no longer with the company. Snow had been with the company since 2008, while Kenny had been there since 2003. Now, Johnson said that the move was a financial decision, with the company having 7 producers at the same time. Snow commented on his Impact Wrestling departure on Twitter, writing, "I want to say thank you to everyone at Impact Wrestling for the great run I've had. Change must always happen, and I am excited for the future." Now, I forgot to grab Shane Helms' comments. He wasn't too happy about the departure. He wasn't too happy with what was going on now. Potentially big news for WWE. Shelton Benjamin in talks with WWE to return. Yes, he was rumored to come back a long time ago. Yes, he was shown on SmackDown as returning. That was all scrapped when he was injured. He had a torn rotator cuff or something like that, and it needed surgery and rehab. So the contract was never signed. He was never fully brought back into WWE. Well, Shelton Benjamin is back in talks with WWE. I'm excited for this because I love what Shelton Benjamin can do in that ring. Now, Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned Shelton Benjamin is once again in talks with WWE to return to the company. Only this time he is unknowingly injured while doing so. For those who don't recall, Benjamin was advertised as returning to SmackDown Live following the WWE draft last year, but a shoulder injury derailed those plans and his deal fell through. However, as we previously reported, Shelton was officially cleared for action back in March. The next month he tweeted, "Let me clear this up now. I am not signed with WWE. I never signed due to injury. While that could change as of 4/16/2017, I am a free agent." Now, sources say Shelton's deal isn't done quite yet, but things are heading in the right direction, so he'll more than likely appear on SmackDown Live once it's finalized and creative plans are in place. And that has me excited. I really hope the deal goes through, because Shelton Benjamin on SmackDown is a good thing. He is a former Intercontinental Champion, a former U.S. Champion, a former Tag Team Champion, and I think I'd love to see him finally reach that top and be the Heavyweight Champion, because that's where his career was going at one point, and then it was just derailed at one time after another, and he deserves to be in that main event spot as the WWE Heavyweight Champion. That's where I want to see Shelton Benjamin. Seth Rollins received stitches on his face after delivering outside dive to Bray Wyatt in their match. So, former WWE champ Seth Rollins loves to use high-flying offense, but his latest stunt caused him to require stitches on his face afterwards. This was this week on Raw, I believe. Now, Rollins was promoting that he'd been on the cover of WWE 2K18 during Raw when he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt. Instead of waiting for him to enter the ring, though, Rollins dove onto him from the top rope to send a message. Given his history, let's hope it's the only injury Seth suffers during his feud with the Eater of Worlds. We all know Seth Rollins is prone to injuries. It is something that everyone worries about when they step in the ring. Accidents happen. I'm hoping Seth Rollins is able to stay focused, stay without injury, maybe get his career back on track. He needs to go back to being a heel. That's what he needs to do. Trent Seven and Wolfgang make cameo in new Transformers movie. This I didn't know of until yesterday. If you're planning to see Transformers The Last Night this week, make sure to keep your eyes peeled for two familiar wrestlers, WWE UK stars Trent Seven and Wolfgang. Trent and Wolfie posted photos on Instagram of their characters standing with professional strongman Eddie Hall, who also makes a cameo, and they appear to be part of a medieval army. Now, the two wrestlers also attended the movie premiere in London over the weekend. According to IMDb, Seven is playing a character named Hengist, and Wolfgang is listed as Saxon Knight. Unclear how long they actually appear in the movie, though, but that is a good thing for these UK boys. They're already getting little parts in movies. Great to hear. Baron Corbin rips a Twitter fan. Following Baron Corbin's Money in the Bank ladder match win, a Twitter user made fun of Corbin's physique, and he answered with the following. Now, this is what the YouTuber or the Twitter follower had to say. Yes, you have a new briefcase, but your stomach looks like a sad face. So Baron Corbin replied, and I love this. This is perfect. Jack, trust me, your girl is fine with it. She keeps sending me DMs. Let her know I am out of her league. She just has to settle for you. Great words coming from Baron Corbin, and he probably ate a little bit of shit for making such a reply. But you know what? You want to shit on someone for the way they look? Fine. I want to see your ass inside a wrestling ring. Let's see what you can do with the physique you have. I want to see if you can throw guys around like Baron Corbin has been doing. You know what? He might not be the best athletic sculpture of a man in that ring, but what he does in that ring makes sense, and that's what should count, not his goddamn physique. Get your head out of your ass, you fucking idiot. Jinder Mahal on nearly opening up a Subway after his past WWE release. He talks about unfinished business with Rob Gronkowski and in the Indies and so much more. Now, I just grabbed the highlights from this interview from the UK's Mirror. The first question was asked, gaining his confidence back on the Indies. He goes, yeah, I just kept myself busy. I just kept wrestling and kept improving myself. You haven't done that good of a job, bro. Like when I was 3MB before I left, I was kind of stuck in a rut. I had lost my confidence. I wasn't having long matches. I wasn't the main focal point of the show. So when I went away to the independents, a lot of times I was in the main events. You know, I was wrestling for 20 minutes and literally built my confidence back. I was able to grow as a person both inside and outside of the ring, and to get more mature. All these things help me get more focused and to regain the drive that I used to have, which I kind of lost and became complacent, which you can never do in the WWE. I had to go through that to live that. Now, it's about giving 100% every day, and I'll continue to do that as long as I'm in the WWE. So you're saying if you let go again, and you're doing the Indies, you're not going to give 100% in the Indies. But while you're in the WWE, you're going to give 100%. You make a lot of sense. Now, nearly opening a Subway franchise after his release from WWE in 2014, this is what Jinder had to say. I think it got misconstrued a little bit. I wasn't going to quit wrestling. I would never quit wrestling as long as I can wrestle. But I wasn't going to pursue it as my main career. I was exploring other options, other businesses. I was in fact going to open up a Subway franchise, but I decided I'm too young. I'm not even in my prime yet, and if I give this my all, give it my best one more time, I could make it to the top, which I did. I gave it my all, and now I'm the WWE champion. Unfinished business with Rob Gronkowski. Jinder goes on to say, it was a great opportunity, a moment that really got a lot of press. Not just from media here in the USA, but all over the world. A lot of eyes were seeing Jinder Mahal. It was great. I believe I would have won if it wasn't for Gronk. Sorry, I had stuff popping up. I believe I would have won if it wasn't for Gronk. So, I still have a bone to pick with him. All in all, it was a great experience. I think Gronk one day, when he's done with football, could definitely become a WWE superstar, and I will look forward to that possibility because we have some unfinished business. So that was an interview with Jinder Mahal. I'm going to take that off. And why not sport the other one? Why not? You know? There we go. You guys get to see them both today. So, backstage news on why Miz's Entourage faction was created. Although it has been teased for weeks, The Miz finally was able to get two people to align with him. As Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel joined his entourage, this was after Axel initially declined and Dallas was contemplating the decision backstage, which led to both being the Bears during the Miz TV segment and attacking Dean Ambrose. Now, according to Wrestling Observer, the reason why WWE decided to form the group was because of the newly debuted duo of Mike and Maria Kanellis. Apparently, WWE does not want to have two power couples on opposite brands, which is why Dallas and Axel were added with Miz and Maurice. Completely boneheaded idea here, thinking you can't have one power couple on one brand and a power couple on the other. Why doesn't it work? There's no interaction between the two. Or is that what you're afraid of? That they might have interaction with each other over Twitter? Who is the biggest power couple of WWE? Who has the most star power? Blah, blah, blah. I could see that going down. But what does that do? That causes competition. What does competition do? It up your rating a little bit. Give me a break. Use your head, people. More news. Matt Hardy teases the arrival of Broken Hardy. This has been done for a long time. Once again, Matt Hardy at it. So, Matt Hardy says, I have a primal passenger within me that almost took over today. Its power could leave my vessel broken. I cannot contain it much longer. So that is your latest tease from Matt Hardy. Is the Broken Hardy gimmick coming to the WWE or not? At this point, this podcaster doesn't really care because, frankly, it's just being overdone. I wish they would deal with the problem with TNA or Impact Wrestling or whatever the hell you want to call it. Hashtag fuck that owl for life. It should be done in private. It should finally be dealt with and then bring it and surprise everyone. That's what I want to see. Baron Corbin discusses his Money in the Bank win. Now, just after winning the men's Money in the Bank briefcase this past week at the pay-per-view Money in the Bank, Baron Corbin spoke with ESPN.com. You can find some of the highlights on WrestleZone. That's where you can find the highlights. Now, WWE Talking Smack recap. Jinder Mahal on title retention. Blah, blah, blah. Don't need to go through all that. I don't want to read it again. Okay, now he discusses on winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. And he goes on to say, it's an amazing moment. I'm here to leave my mark in WWE history. I started that on day one when I walked in and won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And now tonight, being Mr. Money in the Bank, pulling that briefcase down. He was talked about on what it means to hold the briefcase. Baron Corbin goes on to say, history shows that anybody who gets their hands on the briefcase becomes WWE champion. And so, I have no doubts in my mind that that's next for me. That's the next step in my career, and this briefcase is going to help achieve that. And nobody's going to take that away from me. He also spoke out on his approach to cashing in the opportunity of being Mr. Money in the Bank. And he says, I'm going to be calculated. I'm pretty good with being calculated in what I do. When I'm going to make my mark on somebody, unfortunately for him, Shinsuke felt that tonight. He's talking about Sunday night at Money in the Bank. I saw an opportunity and I took it. I'll watch very closely and I'll take my chance and I'll walk away successful. It's a great strategy to use, and I can't wait for the day he cashes in that briefcase. It is going to be a spectacular pay-per-view because I doubt it will be done on a Monday Night Raw. We've got news on the return of Rusev. Been a long time since we've seen Rusev on television. So Rusev is being advertised for SmackDown Live events this coming week. He's scheduled for a triple threat match with Mojo Rawley and WWE United States Champion at Sunday's live event in Everett, Washington, and another triple threat with Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura at Monday's live event in Bakersfield, California. No word yet on if Rusev will be making his Blue Brand TV debut on Tuesday's show in San Diego. So we still don't know when he's going to be on live TV, but he's getting back into the house shows. So it'll be good to see what Rusev is going to do when he returns. Now here's a wrestler I've come to like. I've seen a lot of his matches from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tama Tonga, Haku-san, or Ming, whatever you want to call him. Tama Tonga talks WWE rating New Japan Pro Wrestling roster. Now, Tama Tonga recently spoke with WrestlingInc.com owner Raj Giri, I should say. Sorry, it looked like an L there. Where he offered interesting insights on behind-the-scenes happenings in New Japan Pro Wrestling. One topic Tonga touched on was backstage morale in New Japan Pro Wrestling a couple years ago when WWE was targeting their top talent. Thomas says, it's frightening to lose your top guys. The guys that have been bringing a lot of success to the company, your go-to guys, not just the top guys, but the middle guys, the pillars of the company. Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Gallows, those guys were pillars of the company. They were my mentors. Tama goes on to say, they taught us the game and it was frightening. But at the same time, it opened up doors for us to step up and use the talents and wisdom that was bestowed on us from the young mentors. So this is where we are at right now. Now, at the time, it was crazy and hectic, but we came through it and we're doing all right, I would say. Now, Tonga is someone that has had an opportunity come his way as he is now a 3-time IWGP Tag Team Champion after beating Hanson and Raymond Rowe with his tag team partner, Tonga Loa. Now, earlier this month at NJPW Dominion, that happened at their last pay-per-view. Now, Kenny Omega has transformed into one of pro wrestling's biggest stars, something that Raj asked Tonga for his thoughts on. Tonga had this to say. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. This is what he said about Omega. I'm glad to have him on the team. I would expect so. That guy, Kenny Omega, has brought a lot of light shining onto New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now they're breaking into the U.S. And I can't wait till they get their foothold into the U.S. because then WWE is going to have to outperform what they're doing now. Because once competition is in their face, they've got no choice. It's either sink or swim, WWE. And if New Japan Pro Wrestling gets their foot in the door of the U.S. Federation, or the wrestling industry, and they can compete with what you're doing, guaranteed you're going to lose fans, and you're going to want to win them back by bringing us better television. Make sure you do that. Now, New Japan Pro Wrestling is coming to the United States for the first time with shows in California next month. Both shows are legitimate sellouts. Tonga had this to say about that. He goes, about damn time. It's time to expand, time to move forward and grow, and time to expand and have more job opportunities for the boys. We can't just have one company running the whole world. with like 60 people out of the millions trying to become wrestlers. You need variety. You need more jobs for guys that really want to do this and can provide a living. So this is great. More job opportunities for everybody is great. I agree. And like I said, competition for WWE makes better WWE television. And hell, I would love to see New Japan Pro Wrestling in the US, because then maybe I've got something new to watch. It's very hard to find out when New Japan Pro Wrestling matches or shows are being held. I catch an occasional pay-per-view match, but that's about it. Cody Rhodes says pro wrestling is in the middle of a boom. Now, I shouldn't be saying Cody Rhodes, because in the indies he is not known as Cody Rhodes. He is just simply Cody, because the Rhodes name officially belongs to WWE. But I don't give a rat's ass. He is always going to be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes recently spoke with CraveOnline.com on various topics. Here are the highlights to that. Level of competition in pro wrestling today, he goes on to say, it is bountiful, man. The amount of talent there and just the amount of ways to watch it and the competition that exists between us. It's just a hell of a time. The level of competition in the world of wrestling outside of the WWE is absolutely the highest. Take a look at Christopher Daniels. Take a look at Okada. Those are main eventers anywhere they want to be. When it comes to the independents, the competition is so high. Pete Dunne comes to mind. This was before he had his WWE UK Championship. There are guys like that everywhere. That's the beauty of this period. People keep waiting for 96 and 97 and not realizing that you're in the middle of a boom. It's happening now because wrestling is accessible. It's not difficult to find what you want. If you don't like WWE, you can turn on New Japan World. If you like WWE, you have the WWE Network. If you want to watch Ring of Honor, you watch the pay-per-view. It's all there. He goes on to talk about being blown away by Bullet Club's success. Cody Rhodes goes on to say, being part of this movement, the Bullet Club movement, is unexpected, Rhodes said. You have guys like Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and Finn Balor, and you see the foreground set and how they lined the playing field, and then you have it now where it has grown and grown. It almost scares you to the level of its reach. It's on shelves now in retail outlets next to WWE merchandise, and it's not within the WWE circle, so that's the biggest indicator of its success. The Japanese fans, the Japanese culture, it kind of tickles me how much they have embraced it. They love it, and I feel I'm so mean to them, yet you come to the hotel after these shows, and they come running, and they all have the shirt on. When we broke that merchandise record in the Tokyo Dome, it rattled me. I remember staying up that night and thinking, how here? How did we do it here? There's something that clicks. I'm just really flattered at the connection we've made. So, impressed is an understatement. Cody Rhodes joining the Bullet Club and what the Bullet Club have done to this point, complete success, and it's going to keep on growing. As long as they don't grow to the point where they're like the NWO and it just implodes. Jeff Jarrett says there's no question who owns the Broken Hardy gimmick. I know. It's more broken gimmick bullshit. Impact Wrestling has been locked in a legal battle with Matt and Jeff Hardy for the majority of this year over the rights to the Broken Matt and Brother Nero gimmicks. Now, Impact's argument is the gimmicks were created while they were working in TNA, but both Hardys claimed they created the idea behind the gimmicks that were of their own doing. Matt Hardy's wife, Rebby, has been very vocal in her criticism towards Impact over the legal issues and even tweeted that Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions President Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett are the scum of the earth. What complicates matters even more is Jeff Jarrett's personal friendship with Jeff Hardy. Jarrett recently spoke to Wrestle List about the ongoing legal battle, where he gave his thoughts on the squabble. And yes, it is a squabble. I always take the high road, he goes on to say, because there is legal squabbles or potential legal squabbles, but I have said this to a couple of outlets, and I say this with very broad strokes. I am from Nashville, so I am around music, which is intellectual property, and I have been in the business 30 years, Jarrett told Wrestle List. Intellectual property laws are very simple. There are two sides to it. There are publishers and there are writers. Then there are the performers as well. Jeff Hardy has been one of my best friends for 20 years. You can look on the social media and their social media, and we take family vacations together, but business is business, Jarrett continued. So when it relates to IP, it's real simple. There is a publisher who owns the property. There is a writer who gets credit and can monetize it. Then there is the performers. There is no question that Broken Matt and Brother Nero's performances were off the charts good. But when it comes to ownership, to me, it's almost a silly squabble. It's never been in question. Impact are the owners. Now, Impact attempted to re-sign both Matt and Jeff Hardy when their contracts expired earlier this year, but negotiations were unsuccessful. The Hardys worked for Ring of Honor in March before returning to WWE together at WrestleMania 33 in April. So that's going to keep going, man. It's going to continue and continue and continue. Nothing we can do about it as fans. Nothing that really the Hardy Boys can do about it at this point. They might get lucky in the courts. I don't know. Are we going to see the Broken Hardys? I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not going to speculate on it because, frankly, the squabbling needs to stop, and they need to deal with this in the courtroom where it belongs, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. Now, that's Pillar to Post for today. I'm going to upload this to Patreon. YouTubers will get it tomorrow. I do appreciate it if you stuck it out, watched from start to finish. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Always, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the show, please hit that subscribe button and continue to follow by hitting that little bell. It'll give you notifications every time I live stream and upload. This has been Pete Wall, and as always, this is Pillar to Post, and we were straight out of the dungeon. Have a good day, and I will see you all